Alright, welcome back, and it will be time to take a look at the new big trophy box premium platoon. And as we all know, we have a fairly fat rat over here. Now this is the Raketenautomat, or as I like to call this thing, the RATomat, because of its ratty nature. It has the same turret as the US USH, I don't know how to pronounce that to be honest, but the USH from the STRV-103A premium platoon is practically the same rocket launcher attached on this vehicle with the hull of the Raketenautomat. But yeah, this is a fat rat, although players have told me that this thing looks more like a snail than a rat, but you know, I think I'll still stick with the RATomat because it's so conveniently named Raketenautomat that you can just replace it with RATomat and it will just work fine. 81mm rockets, obviously has no armor, carries 36 shells. Mobility wise, you know, it's not too bad, but this thing has practically no armor at all. It's paper, so you have to rely on cover, and it's not too slow but not too fast. It's somewhere in between actually. Now, I also played the Raketenautomat too. This is a very interesting vehicle that I unfortunately couldn't get a good battle with because I don't know, the game just refused to give me good maps for this vehicle. It kept spamming the same dumb map over and over again, and with this vehicle you need a specific area, or you need to pretty much find places where it's not too high but not too low. The Raketenautomat 2, the normal version, the tier 8 one, is definitely better than this vehicle, although this vehicle has dual rockets, dual APGMs attached on top of it, which I find unique, and its reload is, I would say, much better. But I'll show you some gameplay for both vehicles today, and let's start with the with the RATomat, or Raketenautomat. It's a very interesting name actually, automatic rockets, which it does actually make sense once you see how this thing works. Now, one other unique trait of this vehicle, you don't get any aim assist. The other vehicle, the USH or USH, let's just call it the USH rat, right? You don't get aim assist on that one as well. And that vehicle has wheels. That vehicle has that has wheels, and mobility on that thing is bad. The mobility on this is much better, but you still don't get any aim assist, which in my case, you know, I'm fine with. This is a vehicle that requires I guess some knowledge on where to aim. It's not too bad actually. The drop isn't too bad. Once you get used to it, you will do pretty well with the vehicle, but you definitely need to practice. And I would say, you know, this vehicle might not be a vehicle for everyone, based on the fact that you don't get any aim assist. And you know, if you want to play with no aim assist, we would need realistic battles. So technically, by playing the vehicle, you are kind of at a disadvantage compared to the other vehicles, because other vehicles do get a aim assist, with of course the exception of ATGMs, but ATGM is practically just point and click. However, with this vehicle you don't get that, and you have to know to account for the drop while firing at it. And the same thing applies for the other vehicle with the same turret, with the same type of rocket launcher, the USH rat or USH rat. I think it's more appropriate to call it USH because that's practically what's in its name. The letter U, the letter S, and the letter H basically, and the dash. I forgot the rest of the name, but I think you guys know what vehicle I'm referring to. It has the same turret as the rat here. Same turret, but it looks like a Cybertruck basically. It has wheels. That's the other vehicle that has the same weapon, the same rocket launcher as this one. So yeah, right from the start, the vehicle is kind of at a disadvantage compared to the vehicles. And I can kind of see why players are saying that it looks like a snail. I can see it actually, and I cannot unsee it now. It does look like a snail. You guys are right, it does look like a snail, but I like to call it the rat, you know. Raketenautomat, RATomat. It kind of goes along, you know. But yeah, Also has a third position slightly to the right. Also have to mention that, and the rocket tube on the right is slightly off the center of your aim. So if you're, for example, if I were to shoot at the vehicle now, it would drop slightly to the right. Your primary aim is in the left of the vehicle. I kind of wish that they would add two different reticles for vehicles that have dual launchers or dual weapons, because it can get a little bit annoying to try to figure out which one of your cannons or which one of your rocket tubes will actually launch the rocket first. You will at first waste a lot of shells shooting at the wall and similar, because you would think the shell will fly in the reticle, but it's not going to do that. And I'm saying right now, if the developer is watching, or if anyone from the developer team is watching, add a second aiming reticle or second dot on the aiming screen for the second weapon, because the aim on this thing is not in the center. Both rockets, when you aim, do not fall in the same place. They do not follow the same dot on the screen. They don't follow the same reticle. That's a little problem that I have noticed with this vehicle. The same problem with the Raketenautomat 2, because some of the missiles there will actually fly in the opposite direction depending on how you fire them. And there are other vehicles that suffer from the same problem. But yeah, I wouldn't call it a big problem. It's just a little annoyance that can hinder the experience of the vehicle. It would make aiming a bit easier. I don't mind having no aim assist, but just give me the second reticle to know where my other weapon is looking at. And that was the Raketenautomat, a very interesting ratty vehicle, and I honestly enjoyed a lot. It's not a vehicle for everyone, to be honest, because it has a high skill ceiling. Definitely a vehicle that you need to know how it works in order to take full advantage of it, because no armor and no aim assist in arcade where everyone else has aim assist is kind of, it will be quite literally playing with a disadvantage, to put it lightly. But I like the challenge. I personally enjoyed that a lot. Now, the Raketenautomat 2. Right away, I will tell you that the classic Raketenautomat 2 Hot with the Hot ATGM launcher, and that's pretty much how it's called, Hot ATGM. That's pretty much the name of the missile launcher. The missile launcher is being launched a little bit on the lower end. I feel like the aim is slightly higher than what I would personally like on this vehicle. If the aim was just a little bit lower, around the same part of the missile, I feel like aiming would be easier. But in all of cases with this vehicle, you would have to aim upwards, launch the missile, and then you will have to put the aim downwards again to guide the missile towards the enemy vehicle. And I feel like the other Raketenautomat is definitely easier to play, although this vehicle does have an interesting way of how the missiles work. You can technically spam the missiles with this vehicle, because you have two of them side by side, which I think it's very interesting. That's why I personally really do like this vehicle, because of the dual missile layout that you have on top of it. With the dual missile layout that you get with this. I think this is technically a tank destroyer. I kind of forgot. I know the normal Raketenautomat is a tank destroyer with missiles, basically. So we will see. I mean, I'll definitely play this vehicle a little bit more often in some other videos, because I feel like I didn't get battles that I could get And this is the thing, I feel like it's a little bit annoying because the game, they changed the way matchmaking works. The game doesn't really spam the same map 10,000 times in a row anymore, which I'm actually very happy that they changed that. One of the most annoying things was having to look at the same map 50,000 times in a row. Now you do get different maps each time when you click battle, which I would say it's fine. That's fair. Even if you leave the battle immediately, you still get different maps, and that's the fair thing to do. Now, as you can see here, because of the way the missiles are positioned and because of the aim, you need to kind of aim upwards, and I kind of am annoyed at that because this vehicle could be so good if the aim was positioned in a more natural way, or maybe they went with the more realistic, with the more realistic view, and they positioned the aim right from the viewfinder, which would make sense, honestly. But in arcade battles, I don't really think that's going to work. In realistic battles where you can hide in plain sight, it will probably be, good. But in arcade battles, yeah, you have to either expose the vehicle a little bit, or you have to aim upwards and guide the missile. The missile by itself isn't the slowest, but it's not the fastest. I would say the missile speed is decent, and the missile stability is okay, I would say. The main issue is definitely right from the very start when you launch it. If you manage to launch the missile, and if it doesn't collide with anything on the very start, you should be good to go with the vehicle. And there is a revenge bomber as usual. There it is, revenge bomber, and all 5 bombs, all 5 of them for me. Isn't that just convenient? Isn't that just salty? But yeah, as I mentioned before, I haven't had good battles with this vehicle. Not good battles for my standards, at least. My standard for a good battle is 7, 6, 7, 8 destroyed vehicles per battle. That's what I would consider good battle. Or acceptable battle, actually. That's acceptable. Anything below that is not acceptable to me, and pretty much below average. If you saw the STR video, you pretty much know what I'm talking about. I try to get some very good battles, and usually I do get good battles. Usually I do. But with this vehicle, with this entire platoon, I think performance-wise, this is definitely my least performing platoon, but with the most unique and interesting vehicles. And that's a little bit annoying because I really want to do well with the vehicles in this platoon, but unfortunately, I can't replicate. I can't replicate 10 destroyed vehicles per battle with every vehicle. With some vehicles I can, with some other vehicles I can't, and with this platoon, I don't know. I just didn't have the right map and did not have the right luck for a decent battle for my standards. But with that being said, tell me what you think about these 2 vehicles. Are you going to get the platoon? Are you going to skip the platoon? Tell me in the comments down below. And with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe. And as always, I'll see you next time.